Okay. Trey Post, 711, the deuce and the nine. Hoover head coach enthusiasts, to Hoover Knights, the Hoover Collective, and to the people. We're back, man. I know I've been gone for like a week or so, man. Long story short was I was sick. All right. Uh I'm back, man. I'm 100%, man. Um, I miss not doing this. Actually, I was laid up the whole time thinking, like, damn, man, I would love to do this shit, but I didn't want to do it in bed, sick and shit. But here I am. Here I am, man. To start, man, like I said, man, Hoover hey to everybody, man. I hope everyone is well. Hope everyone has been well. Before we start, I want to send out condolences to Tiny Bird, man. Our condolences to the brother, man, and his family, Wanda. We extend our, condolences to you and the family, man. He's a good dude. I've kicked it with him many a time, man. Uh, Took pictures with him. He's a solid cat, man. Just overall solid cat, man. He's gonna be missed, man, and it's a sad occasion when brothers that young, man, leave us. Man, especially under circumstances that could be avoided. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, again, man, our condolences to the family, man, and you will be missed, Tiny Bird. SFH, man, SFH. All right. Last time I was here, man, I was having a discussion. We were talking about just black people in general. Um, the conversation steered towards Black history. Someone asked a question. Someone asked whether or not I could do um, a brief summary in terms of the history of Black people. And I told him, yeah, I can do that. I can do that. There was no problem. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought that I don't want to do it how it's typically or normally done when we're talking about Black history. And if anybody know what I'm talking about, the first thing they talk about in Black history is that, oh, we were slaves. Or the other was or is the civil rights movement. You know what I mean? Very rarely, if at all, when an expose is done, a documentary is done about Black history, it is done from start to finish, talking about our achievements, our accomplishments, our innovations, our inventions, our entrepreneurs, from beginning to end. Very rarely do we see that, or do you hear that? So I wanted to do that instead. I wanted to talk about our achievements, our accomplishments, our contributions, not to society, but to the world as a whole, to civilization, on a whole, man. Without us, and again, they say Black people are the number one resource. You got to understand what they mean when they say that. But without us, what we're doing now, this interaction on this laptop, man, on this MacBook Pro, would not be possible if it weren't for Black people. You know, the feed you're getting, live feed on your cell phone, it would not be possible had you had not if you didn't have that cell phone in your hand. It's another Black invention. You know, I mean, just go down the board, man. Automobiles. They tell the story that Henry Ford invented the automobile. That's not true. Invented the assembly line to where they were able to produce mass numbers of automobiles from this assembly line, but that is credited to a Black man. Just do your research and just your studies on that, and you'll see that. But not only that, man. Refrigerators, air conditioners, escalators, traffic lights. Uh, Man, in terms of medicine, the first successful open heart surgery was done by a Black man. The first successful open heart surgery. All right. You had George Washington Carver. You had Charles Drew. You had all these people, man, who contributed, and that's just in medicine. And I'm gonna tell you now, man, I'm not gonna act like I know half of these people, you know. But the reality is this, man. Man, there are so many people, Black people, in our history came before us, and even today, who have contributed to civilization's mainstay. This thing, this growth that we're seeing out in the world, man. Without Black people, if it were not for Black people, we wouldn't be having these discussions. Not on this apparatus, on this piece of technology right here. That's for sure. So my thing is, okay, we're going to do a summary. Let's do a summary about the positive shit, about our contributions to civilization. And like I said, man, they're abundant. They're just, it is so much shit. Excuse my language. There are so many innovations as well as inventions by black people, man, that you don't even hear about. A whole bunch of unsung heroes, so to speak, when it comes to the contributions of the world, man. And again, this world would not function, could not function without us. We are the resource, the natural resource, man. So again, look at education. Look at the many scholars, man, we've produced. You know what I mean? Again, medicine is one. Education is another. Business is another. Technology is another. And when you talk about business, you just think back. What's the brother's name that owned BET? This dude did that, man. He did that. He did that, and not only did he do it, he had an idea to augment or to increase that media platform, man. And it was going to be some fire, man. And they knew it, and they knew it to the point or to the extent that now you can't do that. That's what they told him. Now you can't do that. You know, the ideas, man, that we have, man, like I said, just there's an abundance of ideas, man, that the black people cater and give to society. And again, man, we never get the credit. We never get the credit. They quick to tell you about that bondage shit, about you having to fight for, just, you know, human rights. They quick to tell you that one. They don't tell you about all these other contributions, man. I'm gonna tell you that there's no one person raised on the face of this planet who does not utilize these innovations and these inventions. Not one. Not one, man. And you can go let's go further back to antiquity. Everything, man. Everything. Astronomy, geometry, geography, everything, man. Everything. It came from us, you know. But let it be told, we contributed very little to civilization, you know. Again, man, that's not right. It's not the truth. So I wanted to say that, man. And I didn't want to get all off into it. That I think that's a conversation for a later date. The politics of it, man, are deep. You know, it's a conversation worth having, though. It's a conversation worth having. Yeah, again, we were the first civilization, but let people tell it. We want nothing, man, but in chains. And, that don't sit well with me. I swear I hate hearing that. I don't even watch them type of movies. Me and my wife, we have issues about that, because she's a history buff. So anything historically, she'll watch it. She'll watch Queen Anne and them like they, was never in darkness. You know what I mean? Like they always been in the light. They always had this knowledge, knew how to sail across oceans and shit, And I'm telling you, man, this is bullshit. This bullshit, excuse my language again, but she's a history buff. She likes that kind of stuff. And when she turns her TV on, we have two in the room, by the way. 250 inches, one's hers, one mine. And she rushes to the room every day. She rushes to the room, turn her TV on. So, because I'm not going to compete with her, I'm not going to turn mine and turn it up, So I'll come and I'll see what's on there. And I'm like, this shit. Here we go with this shit. Like, man, what are they showing you that's different? It's all the same shit, So, I vacate, I'll leave the room, man, let her do her thing, man. But there's never, man, they do these movies, man. I mean, when's enough slave movies enough? I swear, man, they have very few movies about the contributions to civilization by black people. Very few. Very few. And if they have one, All they're gonna show you that more than anything is that struggle he had to go through to get this thing done. You know, you know. Yeah, man. Okay. I'm gonna hit you off with this right quick, PTHV. This ain't that right now, bro. All right. All right. You know, we gonna, we deal with that when we deal with that. I don't even think that's relevant, homie. You know, by now you ain't figured out that I don't give a damn about that. You know, man, you something wrong, homie. Something wrong. You're not gonna get it from me. You go get it from somebody else who want to talk to you about that type of get down, man. I'm not trying to do that, bro. You know, I'm not trying to do that. I understand the history. You know what I'm saying? I understand the history in most cases of it, especially what you talking about. I was there, you know, but that ain't this, homie. I'm not with that. All right. One day I'll invite you to the show, and that way you get everything on your chest off, and we can have that dialogue, man, live and uncut. You want to do it live? You want me to edit it? I don't matter. Contact me. Let's do it like that. All right. Let's do it like that. But for right now, we not. That ain't the issue. We talking about black folk, man. The shit we going through, bro. You know how we getting bamboozled and hoodwinked and shit, and here you go with this shit. Come on, bro. So that's what's wrong, man, with social media, bro. That's some troll shit. Knock it off, man. Knock it off, man. Matter of fact, go in the comments, give us somebody that you read about or know about who contributes something to society, well, to civilization that uplifted civil, without that invention, that innovation, that entrepreneurship that black man or woman contributed to civilization, how would it affect society today as we know it? Give us something on that level, man. Come on, man. This shit, man. You don't see what gang shit doing, man? We trying to move above that, bro. You know, we can talk about the history, but if you notice, we talk about it in the sense, man, how we grew up and the good times we had, man. We're not talking about nothing else, bro. You know, and that's intentional. That's intentional. All right. But yeah, man. Yeah. What the younger generation need to understand is, what it comes from. True enough, but not in that light. We're talking about, what you're talking about is negativity. Let's talk about something positive. Let's give them something, man, to latch on to that inspires them, man, to be more than that individual hanging out on the street, man. Talking about Crip this, Hoover that, blood, whatever. Most of these young dudes is geniuses, man, talented. Most of them. And I'm talking about a great percentage of them, man. But this is the shit we feeding them. That shit right there, man. That shit ain't cool, homie. Not all the time. Turning the leaf, man. Coming new, homie. Ain't no love lost. I appreciate you in the comments, but homie, there's a time and place for everything. What I'm saying, I want the youth to know, man, they come from something. For real. They come from a people, man, that the history is deep, man. Ain't nothing like them. Ain't nothing like them, man. So give us something, man. Give us something, man, worthwhile. Let these young cats embrace something else, man. They in that shit all day, every day. All day, every day, man. Yeah, peace to the gods, man. What's up, Cleveland? Hell yeah. I'm with that, man. So Cleveland asks, man, is it possible to FaceTime some homies from out of state so we can hear about how they are grooving as well as how they grew up? All right. I want to throw that in there. I was just talking to one of the young brothers yesterday. Down south, man. He been out in the land, he hung out, you know, uh he wants to come on. I would rather have him on personally, in the flesh. But he said to him it's either or. He doing both. So we're gonna work something out, man. Maybe by Sunday I can get him and a couple more heads, man, from out of the way, from out of the land, man, and come and have these discussions with us, man. Let's talk about something positive, man. Because I'm gonna tell you something. What I've learned and what I've heard from them, what they going through ain't no different, man, than what we going through. Shit is still the same, man. You know, thousands of miles away, man, in other states, it's the same get down. And these brothers are tired as well. If you dudes ain't tired, man, something wrong, man. Something wrong. I bet if they have you cats in prison give you a L, sit you up in there for about 20, 25 years. Bet you have a different outlook on shit. Bet you that. Half of y'all ain't went through shit, man. Got to go through something to get to something, man. We trying to get to something, man. We've been through enough. But yeah, hey, loved one, I hear you, man. We're gonna try to make that happen, man. By Sunday, I'm gonna call him when we get through with this tonight, and let's see if I can get him and a couple more heads, man, to come on and let's do a live, man, and have them talk about, how they, how they grew up grooving or how they grew up in general. You know what I mean? But again, it ain't no salacious or fallacious shit for you guys who want to know the dirt. I'm not with that. All right, we're not gonna do that. But I will bring loved ones on who want to sit down and have conversations. Okay. Yeah. Let me hold on. Damn, the comments is heavy, man. Feeling that. Appreciate it. The Ishango bone, discovered in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, is a prime example of ancient mathematical artifacts found in Africa, dating back to Paleolithic era, roughly 20,000 years ago. See, that's deep shit, though, King. That's deep shit. Like I say, I was saying a couple weeks ago, I think, with a lot of our brothers, man, we should spoon feed them first. Give them, give them some good shit, man, some solid shit, some inspirational shit, but let them digest that first before we start hitting them with this heavy shit. Because no matter how you look at it, man, we've been separated from our history. No matter how you look at it, man, you know, there's been a separation, intentional separation of our history, man. For a number of reasons. Just having knowledge of self, man, creates a whole lot of problems for people. When you know who the hell you are, where you come from, you know thyself. That's gonna create problems for people, man, who have ulterior motives, who want to exploit shit. You know what I'm saying? Who want to, take advantage of it. They won't be able to do that if you know who you are and where you come from. So that conversation, King, is a deep one. I'm sure we can do that though. Blue Magic, what's up, homie? So GRLA Hebrew, I appreciate this comment, man. He said, man, what Bub is helping us understand is that Hoover is a beautiful, vibrant community rooted in family, aside from the BS. And I'll go as far to say, man, that just don't go for Hoover, homie. You know what I mean? I think we have a rich history, yeah, of course. And I would, say, hey, man, we the ones, yeah. But there are other communities, man. There are other neighborhoods, other sets and blocks, man, that got that same vibe, man, that same energy, that same history, And this is about, man, just getting people to come to the point where they can discuss that, man. Reminisce about the shit that really lit you up, man. You know what I mean? The music, you know what I mean? I'm telling you, man, as a kid, go back to them times when you talk about some music, man. I ain't talking about when we reached 17, 18, 19. But as kids, man, certain music we listen to our mamas and daddies, aunties and uncles play that's with us today, man. It brought back memories. You know what I mean? It's nostalgic shit, man. And even though for a lot of us, those times could have been the worst of worst, we remember them as good times. You know what I mean? That's how we relate to that shit. But not just music, man. I remember, man, girls back in the day was the prettiest things, man. Had their hair done, man, and them, I forget the damn the pants they used to wear, them little tights pants, almost like bell bottoms and shit, like slacks. They was like slacks, no pockets on the back. But man, beautiful sisters with beautiful hair, had their hair done, and I don't mean no press and curl shit. I'm talking about afros and bum buns and what they call that shit. I mean, cornrows, man. I mean, real live shit, man. That's what I would call, man. But that's why I try to speak to, our history, man. To bring back those memories, man. That man, just everything was everything, even when it wasn't. You know what I mean? We had family. We had situations where, man, if one was doing bad, we was all doing bad. You know, it's the type of shit I'm on, man. That's the type of shit I'm on. You know, the comments is hard and heavy, man. Give me something. Give me something. Sue Bubba going 74 Vermont on car wash side. Yeah, man, that flip, Thaddeus and all them on that side, man. I used to hang with them too back in the day. Like I said, I used to live across Vermont on 76, Vermont, Kansas. But I was on dirt bikes and shit, man. I knew Flip, I knew Thaddeus, Roy. We know all them cats, man. Grew up with all of them. Every one of them, man. You know, wonder what happened to them brothers to this day, man. Flip was a solid dude, man. Laid back kind of cat too. Yeah. Okay. Now look, man. Though this is the Hoover Story channel, understand, man, that we're not subjugated to just talking about Hoover, man. See, and that's the thing I want people to understand, man. It's bigger than that. You know what I mean? It's bigger than that, man. You know, it's bigger than that, man. It's bigger than Hoover, man. It's bigger than Crippin. It's bigger than blood, and it's bigger than all that, man. Us as a people, we bigger than all that, man. That's all I'm trying to impart to people, man. Yeah, we got our history, and I'm pretty sure most of y'all would rather hear the bullshit side of it as opposed to me say, hey, man, you know what? I grew up with some all right cats, man, as kids. You know what I mean? Yeah, we mischievous and shit, but hey, man, for the most part, man, we loved our community. A lot of y'all don't want to hear that. I know that shit. A lot of y'all want to hear that bullshit. Not on this one, man. If somebody come up with another under the groove, watch out, I'm gonna sue you. Right, no. But you want to come up with something, man, and y'all want to talk about that shit, man, be foolish enough to do that, man. Go right ahead, man. I'm not gonna do it here, bro. I'm not gonna do it here, man. Okay. Seaball. The homie Seaball? Oh man, I can bring Seaball food too, though. But when I bring Seaball, I want to bring him with Mexican and frog, and just let them have at it, And I promise y'all, you know, I would. I'm just let them have at it, man. I'll sit to the side, man. I'm telling y'all, they'll have you dudes stomachs hurting. All right, dude. This dude crazy. Do you or any of your Mexican buddies know who Gasper Yanga is? Hey, man, all right, I'm gonna ignore you, homie, because you being a troll. We look at it now. But now, what you would want to do, um, you want to, enlighten the people because they read the comments too. Who is Gasper Yanga? Huh? Tell them. This is a teachable moment, homie. It's a teachable moment. That's why we doing this, man. We want to share some shit, a little knowledge, man, a little understanding, man. Ain't nothing wrong with you sharing who that is with the people. You got a gang of brothers on here, man, and some sisters who I'm pretty sure, want to hear that shit. So you tell us. Okay. King Groove, 713. What's happening, little one? Positive is the only way. Real spit, G Rock. Blue Magic. Much love, home. Appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah, man. So I mean, I was again, man, I was sitting up, man, at the house the other day. Um, I got a link. And I didn't know if I wanted to discuss this or not, but I think it's interesting. I don't look to bring up issues, what I'm saying, like I say, for hits and shit like that, man. But I found it interesting. Um, Compton Rick Rock had dropped it. You know what I mean? It was sent to me. I peeked the link, man. They sat down, Compton Rick Rock, uh, I think brother name is Nina Boy from East Coast. Um, Another brother, I think he from Fig Unity or something like that, man. And I'm not trying to be, funny enough. I don't really know these brothers personally, So, I'm just remembering who they were. Anyway, Snoop invited them to the dog pound or the compound and whatnot. And I don't know if you guys seen that. You should check it out, man. Get your opinion, your take on that, man. Because I have an opinion, but I'll reserve my opinion for now. You know, and I'll speak on that, at a later date. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I checked it out twice. I want to make sure I heard everything I need to hear. You know what I'm saying? But hopefully, you brothers, will go check it out. Come in the comments, man, and give us your take on that whole situation. You know, I think there's nothing wrong with brothers. Getting back in the studio, being productive. You know what I mean? Doing the thing that they love doing, man, and all that. I think that's a good look. Um, I'm like this, man. Um, I'm 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 more of a pessimist than I am an optimist. You know what I mean? I tend to I'm a look at the cons of shit before I look at the pros of it. You know what I mean? And I do that for a reason. It's gotten me this far, man. Especially in my later years of my life, man. Uh, there's a reason for everything, you know. There's a reason for everything, man, and it's upon the individual to understand what the reasons be or the reasons for things we do. You know what I mean? You have to be, the person to figure, that out. But because whoever do what they do, trust me, they know why they doing it. They know why they're doing it. You know what I mean? And that's not to disparage anyone. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying nothing negative about anyone, but I'm just saying for me, until I'm comfortable with, a situation, I look at it, I look at it through a different lens. You know what I mean? Until at such a time I say, okay, man, I can see this clearly. And it is what it is. It's legit, whatnot. But go check that thing out, man. Compton Rick Rock dropped that. Like I say, I got the link this morning. I checked it out. Well, last night, and I checked it out twice already. I think it's worth looking at. I think it's worth looking at, man. And you brothers, man, who are in tune with, what I'm saying, your community and the individuals, what I'm saying, from the community or from the community, it's always, I think, a plus to go back and listen and check out what they're saying and what they're doing. You know what I mean? Just keep you up to par with, what's going on around them. Kimmy Mitchell, what a groove. I'm in Mesa, Arizona, getting my groove on, rapping for the orange and blue. Okay. This is Kimberly Mitchell. Kim, shout out to Kimberly for sure. For sure. I can't wait, man, to just uh, like I said, I got some surprises, man. I got some surprises, man, and I'm telling you, when everything is set up just how I want it to be, Kimberly, we're gonna send you an invite to come hang out at the studio, man. Come hang out at the studio. You'll understand why when we call you down. Hopefully, you'll be able to make it. She's like a few homegirls though that actually, are lyricists, that get down. Well, you know, we have a few homegirls that get down, so it'd be good to hear her. Girl of Hebrew. Okay, my bro call interview coming up this week. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, that's what I want to add. So I gotta notice this is on a whole different tip, man. This is dealing with the merch. Um my POD, I deal with a vendor. They print on demand. They're transitioning into another phase of the business where they won't be doing POD. So I thought to myself, I said, let me ask the people, man, whether or not they know of a good POD vendor. Somebody that the people can trust, man, get their merchandise to them, man, when they order it, man, no hassles, no issues, none of that. I've done some research. I got a couple of them. But I thought, man, because see, you guys are mostly in the media, man. You know the gear you want. You buy it. You know what I'm saying? You order it. I'm pretty sure, man, from numerous, what I'm saying, vendors or podcasters, whatever the case may be. So you probably deal with more vendors than I have. I've dealt with one, and that's the only one. But I'm about to embark on another um, crusade, so to speak, finding a vendor because it was hard finding these people. Send me something, man. Send me some notifications. Send me some uh in the right direction, man, in terms of a POD. printing on demand vendor. I need that, man. I need that bad, man. It's the brand, man. It's the brand. I want to make sure, man, I keep this thing going, man, for those who want it. I got some new prints as well. Ain't putting nothing out yet, but it got a lot of new shit, man. I just need a new vendor. You guys let me know what to do. King Groove, 713, Al Green, Johnny Guitar Watson, Marvin Gaye, Roger Zapp, South Central Cartel, Ghetto Boys, Compton's Most Wanted. Yeah, he went up from Al Green on, yeah. But yeah, Al Green, who didn't grow up on Al Green, man? Come on. Johnny Guitar Watson, this shit. Shouldn't have the ghetto, Philip Bailey. Kimberly Mitchell said, Children of the Ghetto, Philip Bailey. Look that up for me right quick, please. Jeffrey Punkler, hey, brother, I want to holler at you when you get a chance. OG Warlock 5'9". Now I'm preaching peace and unity. All right, that's what's up, homie. That's what's up. I'll contact one of the loved ones to get your line and shit, all right? I'll tap in, man, with one of the homies down that way, man. I'll get your line tonight, man. I'll give you a call. That's Jeffrey Plunkett. All right? Just so you know, homie, I will be trying to reach out to you. Man, Money Tree is getting on women bad now. Undertaker now is getting to our women bad now. What you mean, Money Tree Hollins? You say it's getting to our women bad now, under attack now. What you mean by that, bro? Mama, excuse me. Hey, man. Yeah. This guy's crazy. You know, crazy though. Oh shit! What happened? Okay, here we go. Right quick. Okay. Yeah. Who's like most tribes in South Central? Okay. Who is like most tribes in South Central? This is I King right here. He says, who was like most tribes in South Central LA have a very diverse and broad group of individuals from said community, ranges from doctors, engineers, mechanics, entrepreneurs, etc. All we need is unity. Real shit. Real shit. Well, and that would be way after the Moors had landed. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Who was like most tribes? Okay, in South Central LA. Okay. Yeah. You have a very diverse and broad group of individuals from said community, ranges from doctors, engineers, mechanics, entrepreneurs, etc. All we need is unity. Imagine that, though. Imagine that, and just communities, man, that we come from, producing doctors, politicians, even, engineers, scientists, educators. Come on, man. Just imagine that shit, man. Imagine that shit. And again, I said this about a couple of weeks ago. It's no mistake, man. It's not by mistake, or it, everything we're going through is by design. A lot of it is by design. Again, though, at some point we have to stop pointing fingers. We have to stop pointing fingers and say, "Oh, woe was me, such and such did this, that, and the third to us." Okay, we know this. Again, like I was talking about, these movies and this issue about bondage. We know that shit. Why you keep cramming that shit down my throat, man? I don't want to hear that shit, But we know, for the most part, what ails us, why a lot of our problems exist. But at some point, man, we got to take responsibility. Why these brothers aren't schooling these young brothers, man, in terms of, okay, man, get the education. Like we said, we had to go to school. We had to go to school. Now, don't get me wrong, we ditched. But if we were caught ditching, like, man, what you doing ditching? Take your ass to school, man. Hit you in the back of the head, back. Get your ass to school, man. But dudes didn't want us in the streets like that. They wanted us to be knowledgeable. They wanted us to have some smarts about ourselves, man. Either you're going to get it on the streets or you're going to get it in prison. And in prison, wasn't no ifs, ands, and buts about it, man. And study time, study period, that's what it was. Whether you was on the paperwork or not, you was gonna learn some shit. You know, you was gonna get them lessons, man. A lot of brothers, a lot of intelligent brothers may come out them stoops. Went in the stoops, probably ignorant as hell, came out geniuses, man. Whole lot of them. Whole lot of them. Yeah, I know Big Hole. I know him. Yeah, we talk. That's from S. He asked, "Do you know Big Hoove or Mad Hoove?" Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yeah, and good brother, man. You know, and on his game still too. Okay, like, share, subscribe. Thank you, brother. Again, yeah, like, share, subscribe, man, and comment, man, especially to the lives. Um, I King saying, Young King is saying, Snoop is a good brother. Wait a minute, let me go here first. Snoop gonna get us in the get. Snoop's gonna get us in the get down when pulling podcasts for anything. Okay, I get what you mean, but well, a little more, make it a little more eligible. Snoop is a good brother. I met when coaching in Snoop League. I'm sure he would be open to adding the UT podcast to the future events. I mean, that's neither here nor there, homie. I don't mean to, I don't feel abrased in any kind of way, no. I'm saying, man, and not just Snoop, man. Look, that's another thing, man. Not just Snoop, man, but them brothers, man, that by way of the community, that come by way of the community, say, man, we come from the dirt from the shit. All, I think, in my opinion, have a responsibility to, reach out, man, reach back, man, and do whatever it is they can do. You know what I'm saying? It ain't for me to dictate to them. You know what I mean? That's not what I'm saying. Now, whether or not you bring UTG on to get down or not doesn't matter. I'm gonna stick to the format regardless. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be the same cat, man. You know, I'm gonna be the same cat, man. I'm gonna talk about the same shit. At some point, like I said, this thing will evolve, and we're gonna have some discussions about some real shit. You know, we're gonna have discussions about real shit. Real people, real life shit, man. But not that shit that you see nowadays on social media. That's some, again, we're gonna avoid that at all costs. But I don't think there's anything wrong with having grown man discussions, you know, about real life, everyday issues, man, that affect grown men, grown women, and our children. You know, so yeah, man. More power to the brother. Like I said, man, he's done good. He's probably gonna continue to do good. You know what I mean? What is the 716 and the GHB? 716, man, I can speak to it. That's just the total sum of the Hoover sets, all right? From 43rd to 112. That's what that is. 716. Okay, thank you, G. Yes, sir. All love, all love. Appreciate you. And get that artwork out there. Get your shit out there, man. Kimberly Mitchell, get your shit out there, man. You know, and be versatile with your lyrics. You can rep the set, but be versatile. You know, be versatile with your lyrics, man. Yeah, them Ace jackets. Yeah, somebody sent me. All right, GRLA Hebrew. Um, Printify. Yeah, I checked them out, man. I checked Printify out, man. In fact, before I went with Aqua Styles, I was gonna go with Printify. It's just something about them that threw me off. I think it was more about the prices, how they was charging. Printify gave better prices. They weren't trying to take your profits and shit. I don't know what's changed in a year and a half. I'll go back and look at them and see if anything's changed. See if how they get out is different. But I remember immediately thinking, "Oh, damn, they trying to take majority. They trying to damn near half what I'm selling the product for." But anyway, okay. Big Bird. Man, yeah, we know Momo. Stone Girl. Shit. No doubt. Solar tribalism. Salute OG. Stay strong. Okay, putting that groovy content out 100. West LA tapping in. B knows. That's what's happening, homie. Appreciate you tapping in too. Sober tribalism. Solar. Not solar. SOLAR, but soul, SOULAR. Tribalism. That's a cold wordplay right there. I like that. Who's that? Chicas? 1120. Appreciate that. Real spit. Do homeboy criminal. I'm gonna tell you, this is our guy, man, E-Rock. You know, I know E-Rock, man, and a few of his folks, man, from homeboy criminal. It's a good dude, man. Rocket. Yeah, we've been in them stoops together, man. Yeah, I like the name of that. Solar tribalism. Be knows West LA tapping in. Bub the Groove was instrumental in my crippin' homie. They made us tough. The Playboy Gangster salute Bub. Yeah. PBG, man, them the homies for sure. I gotta get Coco a call, man. I ain't talked to him in a minute, man. He just sent me some shit too. That's my guy, man. We had to do homework, ironing. Yeah, real shit. You know what tripped me out nowadays about kids? Half of them don't know how to clean up. That's some crazy shit, man. Man, this true story right here. True story. So one day, my grandson was over. Our grandson was over. I said, man, go give me that broom. That motherfucker came back with a fork. You remember? Hey, man, that is not. I didn't just make that up, man. When he came back, I was like, what the fuck? It was funny, but I was like, at the same time, like, hey, man, this ain't cool. I was like, boy, you don't know what the fuck a broom is? Yeah, no, pop. I'm like, oh, that shit ain't cool, man. Didn't clean nothing. But now my mind going. So I asked him to go get something else. I forgot what it was. I said, I don't know if it's a dustpan or what. I said, go get me the boy came back. I don't know if it was a paper towel or something. I don't know what the fuck he came back. But it was what I told him. And I'm like, dude, I'm laughing, but inside I'm laughing. I'm like, man, this is some serious shit. This shit is not cool. It is not cool, man. But the youth today, man, my other grandsons, I say, man, climb this tree. They looked at me like I was crazy. Like, man, hey, pop, don't nobody climb no tree. I said, y'all gonna climb this motherfucker today. Bet y'all climb the tree. And matter of fact, I'm gonna put you on the roof and you better find a way to get out. Got the ladder, put them on the roof, and they up there crying and shit. I say, hey, man, grab hold, hang to the side, and hang down and jump down. That's the only way you're getting down. Because I'm telling you. So they got down. Matter of fact, I did bring the ladder up. I had to bring the ladder up for Puda. But they climbed the tree. And they climbed the tree. So the next one was, hey, man, I need y'all to hit my brick wall. Like, walked up to the brick wall and hit it. Hit the brick wall. I said, no, man, no. Climb, get over the wall, boy. Boy, hit the brick wall. But no, hey, man, it's something wrong when I'm telling you, man, hey, man, they do not know how to clean up. don't know how to sew, iron. Well, I imagine most. Well, I don't know. Do they iron? They just they don't iron. They don't put creases and shit on. So then I know damn well they ain't sewing. You know, man, just normal shit we learn to do as kids. You know,
They can push the button on the microwave.
they can put I imagine they can work a microwave and they know how to do a phone. Yeah, anything technology based, they're masters at. They're masters at. H. I called his mama last night. She sleep because she got to get up and go to work early. How's H? 1, 2?
Not even 1 yet. Oh,
Not even 1 years old. The boy answered the phone, right? So I'm like, I'm thinking, our daughter answered the phone. So I'm talking to him because I hear him, baby talk. I said, boy, what you doing, boy? As we're talking, I hear his mama waking up. Like, oh, boy, what you doing? I said, oh, no, the little bastard didn't answer the phone. 1 years old, man. They know how to. Don't let them run your credit cards. Let me put it to you like that. My nephew say, hey, give me your number so I can get this game. I said, well, you must think I'm stupid. Give you shit. Give you shit. A few days later, he done went wiped out somebody's shit. I mean, I'm laughing, but that shit ain't funny, man. They good with this technology, and that's why I say, okay, man, that's their niche. We supposed to be helping them dudes, man, create all kind of shit in a technological sense, man. Any kind of app that help these phones, man. Any kind of app to help these games, man. These dudes, man, are brilliant. These young dudes and young women are brilliant when it comes to technology. And they can't clean the stove, probably better know how to shower. Their ass is right. You know what I mean? But you put some technology in front of them bastards, and they look, man. That's my go-to. Cause I'm on the opposite end of that pole. I don't know shit about technology. I'll go to them quick, and I'm telling you, be like, oh, okay, there it is. Yeah, man. Like you come with me from now on. But hey, man, they don't know how to clean, and that's some crazy shit to me, man. We grew up cleaning up. You had to know how to clean up. That's part of the punishment too. You did something wrong, you know what I'm saying? I asked when mama might have been tired, come on work. They want to whoop your ass. We're going there and clean that kitchen up, you know. Go and clean them bathrooms, you know what I mean? I want them right, you know. They don't do that shit no more, man. Oh my God. Oh my God. Lauren Miller. See, we had to do homework and iron our clothes. Facts, man. That's the truth, man. Moms and them did not iron our clothes and didn't wash them. I remember being like 8 years old, going to laundromat, carrying an army duffel bag, one of them green duffel bags. This is like in the 70s, and the Vietnam War had just ended and whatnot. And we had all that paraphernalia shit around there. And man, big ass duffel bag. We dragging this duffel bag, man, to the laundromat. Knew how to wash. And you better not fuck around, put the bleach on no colors. You gonna get your ass whooped. That's how we grew up, man. Knowing how to do shit, man. Yeah, man. What's that, man?
You talking about the babies? I'm finna tell.
Huh?
I'm finna tell them.
They ain't gonna shit. Man, I'm gonna see their ass in a couple of days. They ain't gonna say shit. Suck their ass in the chest. Like, who you talking to, boy? Okay, GHB, Gun and Honey Boys. Okay, all right. No, Bill, okay, we never saw it because man, what you got for me? Nothing, huh? Not a thing. Not a thing. What Keith Claw said, man? I ain't seen him in there.
Yeah.
What's up, Keith?
He called us when he was at the hospital.
Oh, he did? Okay. When I was in the hospital? Okay. Good looking out, bro. Wonder how you doing, man. Wonder how you doing, man. Hope everything is well on your end, bro. Hopefully everything is well on your end, man. Again, man, we're just having a general discussion. I like touching in or touching bases with the people tapping in, man. Um, again, I was talking to another brother today, and I swear, man, dudes be calling me at work. I'm like, homie, I'm at work. I'm at work, homie. I have an actual job. But the conversations be so good. I had to, you know, go to the corner, man, in the cut, man. But what's happening, man? What's on? Hey, brother hit me today. Said, man, Bub, it just dawned on me. We don't own nothing. I said, yeah, I know. I said, we don't own shit, man. You know, and that's a harsh reality, man. Especially for a lot of us who came up the way we did, man. Who repping these streets, these streets, the way we did, man. Did this time for them. A lot of homies died for them, and we don't own nothing. Even in remembrance, what I'm saying, the liquor store they used to like frequenting, or the burger stand, what I'm saying, that house where that his first girlfriend was at, had their first child, what I'm saying. We have nothing, man, to remember, all the shit we done been through and all the loved ones we done lost has resulted in this lifestyle we in. And he's like, man, he said, I'm hurt. It just dawned on him. It just dawned on him today. He again though, he just got out of prison. His brother was a lifer too. He said, man, damn, we own nothing. He said, man, he went to hang out with somebody he hadn't seen in decades. And they were just hanging out in the front yard, chopping it up. Police pulled up on them. Somebody called the police on them. Told them they couldn't stand there. Like, oh, they were violating constitutional right, just, I'm saying, the symbol, just sidewalk, man. It's public sidewalk. You stand on the motherfucker as long as I want. Yeah, I have people sleeping on them. Stay right, they can do that. But he's like, hey, man, we couldn't even stand there. And he said, it hurt my heart. I say, man, yeah, a lot has changed, man. A lot has changed, bro. We don't got nothing, We don't have anything, but we always gung-ho about some shit that don't make no sense. They ain't making no dollars. They're making no dollars, man. Every set, Crip or blood. I said this before, and I'm gonna keep saying it. Hey, man, we might have one or two. We may have one or two that got a fledgling shop on the set or in the neighborhood. The reality is, though, it's fledgling because most of us ain't there no more. You know what I mean? You can open, those who are able can open a shop, and on the set in the hood all they want. Who's frequenting it? Who's spending their dollars? Yeah, who's spending their dollars, man? Who you spending your dollars with? So this is, like I said, man, when we come into this get down, man, like I said, I could be as ignorant as the next cat, man. I just choose not to be. I can sit here, man, and tell y'all some stories about Hoover. How you like what? For real? But come on, man. To what end? To what end? Me getting a knock at the door. Yeah. You know what I mean? No, man. No, man. We don't utilize our dollars, man. See, no unity, man, equates to no economic or financial base for the Black community. So if we're not unified, guess what? Guess who we spend our money with? Because we're not spending it with each other. We'll go spend our money with other groups of people who, by the way, you can have that store in this community that was once ours. I bet you it's not frequented They're not spending dollars like that. They not coming up in there like that, bro. You know, it's just, that's just what it is. You know what I mean? You got to put somebody in there that they identify with, and whatever the case may be. But most of our dollars, man, aren't spent with us. You know, that's a problem, man. That's a problem. Our money, again, man, we are a resource. We are not just a natural, we are a resource, period, point blank. You know, economically, man, politically, man, social, we anything you want to tap into or speak of, or in terms of black folk, we are that. It's just been said or told to us so many times that we aren't. We tend to believe it. We tend to believe it. Our dollars, man, there's no stronger dollar than the black dollar. You know, we go get the money, man, but then we spend that shit on frivolous shit, man, or with people who don't give a damn about us. You know, don't give a damn about us. You know, you go up street to their store, spend their money, buy you a can of beer, man, or something, man. You go back down the street, hang in front of their house, they're gonna call police on you. That's a twofer. They got your money and they putting your ass in jail. You know, I'm just saying, man. We don't have anything, man, and we need to start understanding that we need to get our shit together. It's not a given, man. That's gonna be an effort. Again, I said this last time I talked. Anything we need to do, that we should be doing, is gonna be a task. Because, man, we're so far removed from reality, man. Just getting back into the present, man. It's gonna take a whole lot. It's gonna take a whole lot. It's a shame, man. We don't own nothing in none of the communities we come from. Not a whole street. Not a whole street, man. Not maybe a house on that street, you know? And again, man, we've had loved ones no longer here, man, and they rep that shit to their death. But we have nothing, man. We no nothing to commemorate them. We can't go to that house on the corner, man, where, like I said, he hung out most, and say, man, this is gonna always be here. This is how we're gonna remember the loved one. It's some crazy shit, man, but it's real. It's real, man. You know.
We need the OGs not to stand down, but stand up.
Yeah. Yeah, real shit. And then, I said this also about elders. Elders don't imitate, man. We're imitated. You know what I mean? Now, a lot of, again, I just had my brother and the homeboy on a get down last week, man, and they were saying in no uncertain terms, hey, man, yeah, we want to say more. Yeah, we want to do more, but in this day and age, shh, you go to jail, you do this, this happened, that happened. But I think initially they weren't really understanding what I was saying about the interaction and the communication. I'm not in no form of fashion telling anyone or would suggest to anyone to go and tell some young cats, man, anybody, young or old, here's this thing, man, go put in work. Fuck that, homie. I'm not gonna, nah, homie. Nah, that I would never suggest that to anyone, you know. What I was suggesting, what I was saying was, hey, man, your community, man, is your responsibility. So when you have individuals in in your community, see, because you're a part of that community, and the get down is whack, it ain't right. You have an obligation to say, hey, man, it's some bullshit, bro. How does this make sense? You know, how does this make sense? How does this pay a mortgage, pay rent, car note, insurance, you know? How does this help you? Your kids, if you have any, your mama, your brothers and sisters, I think it's incumbent on us, man, to speak to those who need to be spoken to. And I'm not talking about forcefully. I'm not, man, again, I agree with a lot of shit they said. I'm not putting my hands on nobody, man. Don't fuck with me. We cool. You know what I mean? So, but I'm not finna force nobody to do or say anything. What I am willing to do, though, is speak to the positivity or speak to, positive factors or aspects of just life, living life every day. That's it, man. I'm down with that. You know, I'm down with that, man.
Mm.
I'll let the young homie know, okay, homie, yeah, but you know, for a lot of them, where you sleeping at tonight, homie? You know,
We need to put a care package together to get a store just
you
to
know,
break ground.
you know. Did you eat? Last time you seen your mom, man. Little shit. And everybody don't have it like that, man. These young cats is out here, man. They just out here, you know, out here. And they telling you in a heartbeat, and I ain't trying to help nobody. You know, I ain't trying to help nobody. They'll say that shit quick. And shit is true. And you got these old cats, man, a whole lot of them, man, to get down this boo-boo. Talk a good one. This boo-boo, man. It's boo-boo. And when we come to Hoover, homie, I'm saying, man, the Hoovers, man, we supposed to have something to show for, homie. Oh, this shit. That's all I'm saying. And I mean legitimately. Legit shit. Not no bullshit. Not some shit where motherfucker come take it from you and lock you up at the same time. Everything we done been through, man, come on, man. Come on. We supposed to have something to show for. That's all I'm saying. I mean that shit, man. To not have anything, man. And come on, man. It's common sense. Then we fucking fools, man. Excuse my language, man. We idiots, man. Idiots. We got to go work for Gilmore because we ain't have enough sense, man, to understand. Wait a minute. Let's create our own shit. Have our own shit. Work for ourselves. We got to work for Gilmore. Pay the mortgage. Pay your insurance. Shit like that, man. I was saying last week, man, our people are in a state of arrested development, man. For real. For real. And that shit's some real shit, man. Anytime, man, you see cats stuck on the shit they stuck on, and they not saying, wait a minute, man, I'm tired of this shit. And they ain't trying to do something different, better, more positive, uplifting, something beneficial. Something wrong, homie. Mindset messed up. Mindset messed up, man. Ain't none one of these streets did nothing for us, man. Like I said, I love my community, homie. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's the only one I know. But I got sense enough to know I ain't benefit from it, homie. No, I ain't benefit from it. All them dudes that's gone, that was pushing harder than I pushed, I ain't benefit from it. The thing they got left, man, is a headstone. All this shit we've been going through, killing and all that, we only own mortuaries, man. Make it make sense, man. I'm just saying, bro. So when I come on here, man, I'm coming on here, man, talk about some shit that's real, homie. I'm not coming. I don't care. Don't get me wrong, man. I'll have a discussion with you, man, but I'm not gonna let that be the sole, conversation, man. Just the content, man. I'm not doing that, bro. I'm not gonna do that. I do want to talk about how, for a lot of us, it may be too late. A lot of us old now. You know what I mean? However, you got individuals coming up behind y'all, man, and it ain't too late for them. It ain't too late for them. Some of them, your kin, your folks, your blood, your relative. At some point, man, you got to understand, man, that the life you living, man, is impacting other people. Technically, it ain't your life. It ain't just for you. We're not looking out for individuals, man. Guess what? Ain't no love, man. Ain't gonna be no love. Ain't gonna be no unity. Everybody stuck on some shit, man. I'm telling you that it don't even rent, man. They don't pay the rent. And each one of y'all on these sets, man, walk up the street and count how many homies live in these houses or apartments that, where they tear houses and they building these apartments. Who if any of y'all got some get down in that? Got some stock in that? Huh? How many of y'all could go to these corporations building these apartment buildings and say, man, I got a homegirl, just had a baby, she got 2 kids, she need a place to stay. We want to put her in this brand new apartment you just built. How many of y'all can go do that? Just saying, man.
Read the comments, baby.
Hmm?
Read the comments.
I'm just saying, man. All right, I'm gonna get off that high horse, man. Fuck it. Where about, baby? Yeah, that's a lot, man. And look, man, when I talk to the homies, I had to tell, like, when I'm talking to Mexican and Frog or any homie, like, man, I ain't tripping. I'm just, I'm just, I know what I'm saying, man, and a lot of y'all know what I'm saying. We going through some shit we shouldn't be going through, man. We're going through some shit we shouldn't be going through.
Neil Spike talking about live readings of Black economic uplifting books. That's what I'm like read.
Okay. All right, I see. Okay. Let me see. And what name is that, fathead?
Neil Spike.
Neil is always coming with some solid shit, though. His comments, man. First off, Neil Spike said, we need the OGs to not stand down, but stand up and teach with some of the present riders in our, and teach with some of the present riders, our youth, how to be business savvy. Okay, so basically he's saying, man, the G's, man, especially those that got understanding, that got knowledge, man, in terms of, what I'm saying, directing and leading, structuring cats, man, in a positive way, man, need to stand up, man, and speak to this shit. I get that. I'm with that. For instance, Neil goes on to say, for instance, food, clothes, and shelter, and buy back the community. Food, clothes, and shelter. See, that's an old term. See that's that's the movement, man. Food, clothes, and shelter, first and foremost. First and foremost, man. Damn, man. All right. Take pride. This is Neil again. Take pride in being the best of the Creator's creation by being strong, loving, and forgiving our brothers and sisters with real, genuine love. Respect, man. I mean, without that, we're gonna, like I said, we stuck in this cycle, man. Nobody has lost more than nobody else, man. At some point, we're gonna have to get over. It's easier said than done. I get it, but we're gonna have to start forgiving, man. I know loved ones, homeboys that lost family. I've lost family to this shit. So yeah, it's hard, man. But I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it, man. Man, milk is a homeboy that homies speak of, that homies hung with. Milk's not from my generation. You know what I mean? Now, I send shots out to Milk, you know what I'm saying, just as a matter of support. But he's not the only one. T-Rail and Schmack, you know, dudes that say what they want to say about him. You know what I mean? It is what it is, man. You know. Again, see, I'm the type of individual. Like I said, I've had to learn from my mistakes, man. I can only speak to me and my mistakes and the corrections I made in my life. Yeah, I was one of them dudes, man, was with the bullshit. Yeah, yeah, you know. But here I am. I'm telling you now, man. Fuck that, man. That shit don't pay no bills, man. It don't help nobody win nothing. Actually, all you doing is really messing yourself up eternally, internally. You know what I mean? Just hating and all this other shit, you know. Probably be, worth your while, man. Put a lot of shit to the side, man, and figure out how to improve your life, man, and the lives of those around you, Be ready. Big Red is asking, do I have any idea where the big homie Damian Porter from Eleven Deuce grooving? He been missing for months. No, I can't speak on that, man. I don't know. I don't know where the brother is or how he's doing. Hopefully he's all right. You know, sometimes we take hiatuses. You know what I mean? Shit gets so depressing, man, so burdensome, heavy. Dudes be wanting like, hey, man, take a break from this shit. So ain't no telling, man. S is asking, what's your thoughts in the hood vlog on Real Tune TV with Gumby if you have seen it? Um, Look, man. Uh, uh, no, I didn't watch it, man. I watched, I think maybe a couple of minutes of it and shit. You know what I'm saying? Real spit. But it was discussed. Some old individuals had seen it or whatnot, and whatever was said. The history of Hoover, man, it's etched in stone, homie. You know what I mean? It is what it is, man. I'm not here to rehash that conversation in terms of what was said. That the homie said. You know what I mean? It, you know, it is what it is, homie. Fact of the matter is, now if you have me, the homie Gumby supposed to be, frontline dude in terms of, helping the set to grow. Bringing something positive to the set. You know what I mean? Let's make it happen, homie. That type of get down. You know, that type of get down, man. Light up one of them big old stogies, man, but same with a plan. That's legitimate. That's gonna serve. You know what I'm saying? The community. That's what I would say about that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I didn't see the video, but had he said what I just said, then kudos to Gumby. More power to him. You know, but it's gonna take each and every one of us, man, individually, to make the choice, man, to do something different, to do something that's uplifting, enlightening, man, and positive. Until then, man, hey, man, it's gonna be what we see. It's gonna be what we see until dudes decide, hey, man, damn, for real, enough's enough. I sat up and talked with Meskin and Frog, and them dudes had me messed up. Like, man, I'm tired of this shit. I'm like, damn. Cause sometimes with them, dudes, you know, talk. We say shit, when we drink, we say a lot of shit, whatnot. But that at that moment, yeah, dudes is tired of seeing the same shit, and that's just two dudes from Hoover sector. Imagine two dudes from another sector, and they sitting down chopping it up with some real shit. Can you imagine how many? I mean, I bet you it's a whole lot of tired MFs out there, man. Just tired of the bullshit. I bet you. I bet you, man. And if that's the case, man, what's stopping us, man? What's stopping us from tired of being sick and tired, man? What's stopping us from bringing about some change, man, that's going to be beneficial to our communities? Brothers told me they tired of this shit, black on black. I was like, whoa, and that's my bro, and I hadn't had that discussion with him. You know, we, different shit, but that was whoa, yeah, man.
Once you group them out the rafters, please.
Neil says, live readings of Black economic uplifting books. Claude Anderson, yeah. Dr. Amos Wilson, yeah. Maybe have on Love One, each one read a paragraph, and build the rest of the show around our understanding of the content. I get what you mean. Not book club per se, but something similar in that vein. We sit down and we have a reading, man, or something that's uplifting, beneficial to the community, no matter what community you're from, and then dissect it, not only dissect it, but speak to how we can apply or, make it work for us. That sounds viable, man. That sounds viable. Cleveland was getting at me about the, well, was somebody before that had suggested we do this Zoom, a live Zoom, and like I said, I'm gonna do that. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna do it. Um, I would like to have a panel of individuals, man. Just some real shit, man. They ain't got to be from Hoover. Just as long as you solid, man. You know what the hell you talking about. Let's come on here. Lace me, school the listeners, man. Those who tune in, you know what I'm saying, with some solid shit, man. I would like to, to propose, hey, man, let's get, up to 5, 6 cats, man. Tap in, man. You want to come on to get down, man. Let's line that shit up. Let's line that shit up, man. Is that Big Red? You talking about which one? Let's line that shit up, man. Okay.
Was you Google while the rag was blue and the Hoover Star was blue before it went orange?
I need to find that because I want to answer that.
Towards the end, yeah.
I mean, when probably and who was that by?
Big Red.
I mean, no. Who's over him and under him?
Oh, solar tribalism.
Okay, there you go. Okay, yeah, he's older there.
You gotta acknowledge Jessica.
Was that? Huh?
You gotta acknowledge Jessica. She's saying I love you, Bob.
I didn't see it just now.
She's right up under it.
I don't see that. I'm sorry. Okay, I see you. I see you, Jessica, Jezebel. Love you too, baby. Love you too. I told you, Steve, just send your hearts. He's like, no, I'm gonna do what I want to do. Okay, so Big Red, man, he asked a question. OG, was you grooving while the rag was blue and the Hoover Star was blue before it went orange? My whole life, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was, man. I was there, man. Like I say, man, since 1977. Blue rag, man. You know what I'm saying? Man, everywhere I went, I had one. All through Inglewood, man. Going to, I was just doing what I was doing. Um, uh, the blue rag has always been, it's let's be honest, synonymous with Hoover. You know, that's what our G's was carrying, and repping, what I'm saying, in them pockets, man. That's what they, that's what we got. We imitated them. So yeah, of course. I was grooving men with blue rags, man. I still had blue rags, yeah, when shit was going orange. You gotta understand though, for me, and I'm not gonna speak for nobody else. I'm gonna speak for me. You have to understand though, man. Hoover, to me, it's more than a color. It's more than cripping. It's more than criminal. You know what I mean? It's more than gangster crip. You know what I mean? Hoover to me, like I said, man, it's not. It's in me, man. It's a part of my. I'm a part of this community, man. To the day I die. To the day I die, man. Hoover. Hoover. I can discard everything else, right? But Hoover, I ain't gonna never be able to get rid of that. You dig? You dig? And no disrespect to anybody who's been repping the blue rag, man, from the C Nation, man, cripping, criminals, whatever. I'm telling you how I see shit and how I live my life. I couldn't be done with Hoover if I wanted to. Like I say, man, it's so much a part of me, but in a different light now, you know. I could discard all that other shit, but I'm telling you, man, I can't discard Hoover, and that's first. That's first with me. You know, I'm not a game banger. You know, I'm from a community. You know what I'm saying? That Hoovers come from. You know, I'm from a community of Hoovers, man. You know, so hopefully that answered your question. Whether it was blue or orange, man, I rep it. I was grooving. I was grooving. I was a Hoover. That's just what it is, man. You know. Hoover Swag said, we all lost homies along the way, but we can't let them die in vain. We got to step up and show out. That's the part I'm talking about, though. Hey, man, when you trip off, I don't know, man. I be tripping off certain, like Kendrick Lamar, right? Man, the dude fire, right? He all right. He do his thing, but it's not even subtle. It's not even subtle in terms of how he getting down or what he's trying to express. He's saying that shit. He's saying that shit. It's just he's saying it in such a way that some of y'all think, oh, did he say that? Did he read it? What does he mean? He meaning what he's saying. He's saying what he mean. It's right there, man, in all his lyrics. He's saying the same shit, man. A lot of cats are saying, man, we tripping, man. We tripping. And then we have more cats like him. Yeah, it's cool to be an artist and be in that genre, that hip hop or rap genre, man. But a lot of them cats ain't spitting like that. Don't even know how to mix that shit up like that, man. That's some fucking pop shit on a whole nother level. Yeah, on a whole nother level, man. So I mentioned him to say, man, even dudes see shit, and he has a platform, so to speak. And if y'all think it's all entertainment, man, y'all sorely mistaken, man. It's more than entertainment. He's spitting. I'm telling you. Robert Sanders asks, "Hey, OG Bub, Big Bub, have you ever met Big Kev Mac from Rolling 60s?" Of course, of course. Yeah, it was a pleasure and honor, man. You know, um, me. I want to tell you, like I said, man, I'm the kind of guy, man. Initially, I'm a pessimistic kind of guy. Initially, optimism only sets in when I've figured out, okay, there's no reason for me to be pessimistic or doubting or, what I'm saying, just funny about shit. Um, I think it was a great thing that I met him. You know what I mean? I think it was a good thing that I met him, I tell the story how the podcast came to be. Kev Mack was the reason Under the Groove came to be. I told him this. I told him this. I said this to him. And so there's an appreciation there. You know what I mean? There's an appreciation there for Kev Mack, man, for being the kind of guy he is. Now, like I said, I tip my hat to the dude, man. He gets down in such a way, man, that you gotta, hey, man, all right. Yeah, all right, Now, if it wasn't for the type of guy he is, or character he had, Under the Groove probably wouldn't exist. Because he was the only one that went and did, what he did. You know what I mean? And that's why we exist. But I met him, and when I met him, it was all love and respect. And we've been in communication ever since, man. We've been in communication ever since. We had a couple of ideas, and we there's some things, he's out of the way now, where he is, and I'm down here, but uh some good shit can happen, man, with me and him, man. Let me put it to you like that. Some good shit can happen between us, man. And I'm telling you, that's just a catalyst or a springboard for others, man. You see that type of get down, man. That opens up doors, man. It creates a different mindset, It really does. For instance, when I did the interview with Miz from 9-0, Neighborhood Crips, and C-Rab, when I did that interview, you can't imagine, man, the, you know, uh, not necessarily blowback, but the feathers that were ruffled, man, and understandably so. Let's put that out there. Let's make it understood that yeah, dudes, it wasn't a gripe dudes had. This was something. This is some heartfelt shit. Uh, my point was, yeah, be that as it may, whatever that circumstance was that changed things. Them dudes were hoovers. Now, I don't know what anybody got out of it, but I can tell you what I got out of it. I have a friendship now, a couple of them, with individuals, come on, man, that, are no different than me, man. Went through the same shit I went through, man. You know, dudes are tight, man. You know, they're all right. They not looking for no trouble or nothing, man. These dudes, if you sit down, if you let them sit down and tell you the story, you guys be like, whoa, shit, okay. And I've said this about a lot of cats. A lot of us have stories to tell, man. You know, and in those stories are lessons, man. It's a whole lot to be learned from the lives, a lot of cats can live, man. Especially those cats who are still here, man, to be able to tell these stories. A lot of cats ain't here, man. Tell them stories, man. Speak to who they were, you know, what they went through growing up, and how that transition from growing up to becoming a man put them in the place or the situation they're in now as men. A lot of cats didn't have that, homie. Don't, and a lot more ain't gonna get it. That's the sad part. A lot more ain't gonna get it either, you know. But Kev Mack, man, is somebody I'll fuck with. I shit, man. He called me last week out of the blue. What couple of weeks? I Kev, I got way talking. He said, "Hey, man, 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 yeah, man, I get it, man, I get it. That brother's all right with me. In fact, one of his OG homeboys helped to raise me. I just talked to him another night. What's happening, Looney? And this is another brother, man. I'm telling you, I know all kind of cats, man. Whether I was a Hoover or if they was a neighborhood or what, I know cats, man, that are just solid cats, man. Down motherfuckers. Think I think like they think. They think this shit here, this some boo boo shit, man. But anyway, I digress.
Get a round table going.
Yeah, we gonna who said who now, baby?
Hoover swag. Get a round table.
I just saw Hoover swag. Yeah. Get a round table going, Hoover swag. Yep. Like I said, I would like to initiate, man, a live Zoom, but under the understanding, man, of the condition that, hey, man, we know we live, man. It gotta be just above board. It can't be no bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Hmm?
Al Thomas.
You know, that's something we need to think about, man.
What was the name of your crew?
Uh-oh, Al Thomas. Hold that thought out. But I was saying about this live thing. I would like I would like some suggestions, in terms of resolution to get this thing up and running. All right. And um we can decide who can participate, who should participate, and it is not just exclusive to Hoovers. Understanding though, I know there are some Hoovers that are more than willing to come and do this thing. You know what I mean? So, not just reputable dudes, but intelligent dudes who see shit in a different light, dudes in live the life, man, style with live the lifestyle and knowing, man, damn, man, we got to find a better way. So let's get to that, man. I need some suggestions. Neil is holler for sure. I got a few cats in mind as well, man. I want to get at, man, and let's see if we can have this thing jump off no later than I want to do Sunday soon. Sunday soon. Let's tentatively let's set it for next Thursday, a week from today. So I'll be on that, man. I'm gonna make these phone calls to certain individuals, and Kev Mack for one. I would love to have him in on the conversation, man. You know, and it don't just got to be brothers with platforms. You know what I mean? Just, So anyway, Al Thomas. Al Thomas asks, okay, what was the name of your crew in Mississippi? Was that Mississippi? I want to test your memory. Damn,
There you go.
he, he made me think he know me. All right, look, man. I don't even really talk about Mississippi that much anymore. But hey, man, name of my crew.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember, man. That was
I made up all kind of names.
yeah, man. I'm even scared of not scared, but say what my name was back then. Shit, you know. But hey, man, I had actually Mississippi, man, was different, man. It was different, you know. It was different. I'm telling you, I felt at home down there. Um, I was there. I was there for a year and a half, man, and fucked around, man. You know how that shit go, man. And I never saw it again. You know, I never saw it again. People out there I had relationships with, man. I get down in the dirt with. You know what I mean? Yeah, a lot of people out there. Cujo, what's happening, man? Stank, what's up, man? I hope you brothers alive and well, man. You know, but yeah, uh, I don't know how. I don't know, bro. I don't know about that. I can't recall the crew name. I know who was there with me though. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna leave that one alone. But yeah, man, Mississippi, man, um, Summit. We were in Macomb, Mississippi. All right.
Well, you got to wrap it up. Hmm.
Yeah, man. I understand the Bulldogs, man. I know a lot of them cats in the joint, man. They was their own get down. Yeah, they were like the Mexican version of Hoovers, so to speak. Them dudes, yeah, they got their own program, man. They got their own program. HIP, Big Momo, Q Ball, Mac, Jab 3. Real spit, bro. Real spit, man.
East Coast wear orange and blue.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Big Red, okay, no Kevin, little. Yeah. Big Red said, I didn't know Kev Mack was a little Latino. Was a Latino. LOL. Homie Cuban. But Cuba does have blacks, so many can't pass as brothers. They brothers, man. It's part of the diaspora, bro. Cuba, you know, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, shit, Haiti, all that. That's all part of the diaspora, bro. Them black folk, man. Got a lot of light skin over there, but shit, they black folk, man.
Let me see y'all know he programming. Who programming?
Can't wait for us. Kev Mack is this is Sug one. Kev Mack is a force for good and also for unity. And the same thing goes for you, sir. You are both important in explaining this culture in a mature and balanced way. Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that. But like I said, man, about Kev Mack, and he don't know it. I subscribe to his shit, man. I look at his shit. You know what I mean? I look at his program, what he put out there. You know, like I say, him and a few others, man. Uh, Crazo from Raymond, Coach Zoe. I subscribe to his stuff. Um, there are other individuals, man. I subscribe to, and I'm picky about what I look at or what I subscribe to based on what's being said. You know what I mean? Just be 100, man.
Mhm.
Just to be 100. I don't imbibe everything, man. Especially if yeah, okay, that ain't for me. That's it. I ain't got nothing bad to say about nobody. Except for no jumper. Them type of motherfuckers.
No, young lady.
Yeah, okay. You know,
This
crazy
nigga talking about
says
he
East Coast
programming.
orange, man. Crazy that 7-6 East Coast Crips were orange and blue like Hoovers. See, back in the day, I remember the 7-6 East Coasters, they had the 7-6 balls on the back of their Chevys, man, orange and blue. Union 76, a gas station. They used to get them balls up back in the day,
Throwback into the
you
world.
know? Babe.
The one above it asks, do you get sick and tired of these YouTubers?
Let me see.
Right
I
above it.
gotta find that. I don't see that.
Oh, it was
Is that at the bottom?
right above the Hoover swag about the 760 East Coast.
Oh, okay, let me see. I'm reading comment on everyone's. Thanks for reading my comments out to everyone. You welcome. You welcome. Move swag. Okay. So S is asking, do you get sick and tired of all these YouTubers talking about your set with faulty info and not doing their due diligence on research, and especially since you created your platform which covers the history? Um, I think that question could be posed to most Hoovers, to all Hoovers. Yeah, man, we know that a lot of content is put out there just for the licks, the clicks, the hits, and the subscriptions, man. We know that shit, man. Just to clarify, Kev Mack didn't put out no erroneous information. You know what I mean? That's not something he did. It was the fact that he did an expose on a few homeboys who were resting in peace, and we just thought, that should be for us to do. You know what I'm saying? If we so choose to do it, with the blessing of that family, as well as the homeboys from those sets. But as far as other YouTubers go, yeah, man, we see this shit every day, man. We see this shit every day. You got a lot of cats in there real just, real just funky with it too, They don't give a damn, They don't give a damn, you know what I mean? Uh but like I say, what's tripping me out now that you have these other people, this other race of people coming in and speaking on the set now, and telling, our youth, okay, y'all Hoover Groovers, y'all come from Hoover Groovers, da, 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 this, that, and the third, uh uh this set, that set, and that set was the first, da, 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 they don't know what they're talking about, So yeah, uh again, I'm speaking for me, but I can attest that, man, the majority of the homies hate that shit. I mean, but you know what, we develop thick skin over time, man, because it's so rampant, it's just in there all the time, man. We see shit, be like, look at this shit, you know. And I see it. I'm gonna tell you what I do when I see shit. I'll go in the comments and say, man, you don't know what the fuck you talking about. I'll see it, and then I'll go back and it been, deleted or whatnot. That's fine. That's fine. But yeah, we get tired of seeing it. But what you gonna do, man? It's one of the reasons why I tell the homies, that, if that's gonna be done, then we should do it. Got a lot of homies don't agree, don't want to, put themselves out there or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And I get it, man. But it'd be best if we did it as opposed to someone else outside our community doing it. And like I said too, this for the homies. Don't be upset and surprised when someone decide to do something on a major level about us, and you ain't got no say in it at that point, and we don't eat from it. That's gonna be something to think about. That should be something to think about.
I'll wrap it up.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, now. I've been up here a minute, man. And
Look at the bottom. A couple of them.
let me see what I got, man. Big Red, okay, OG. Did y'all have a lot of Mexican Hoovers like nowadays? Now the grooves got a lot of Latinos. G thing for five deuce a low, one for sure, LOL. Listen, man. When we were growing up, we there may be maybe four people. One's not a real Mexican, just my brother. Uh, uh, um, our homeboy Hito, and that's a brother to us. We don't address him as anything other than that. You know what I mean? He know what he is, and we respect that he know what he is, and that's what we write. But that's our brother. You know what I mean? His whole family. That's our family. We had a couple of more, man. And look, we didn't trip like that because at that time also you got to take into consideration they weren't around there like that. You know what I mean? See, they weren't around there like that, man. you know. And they didn't. If some were around there, they couldn't mingle with us. They didn't mingle with us. You know, that's just what it was. You know. So yeah. Hey, P, little mad dog, man. We love and miss you, Stanley. Hmm?
Big Red, you can do that one more, one above.
Oh yeah, man. Big Red, OG. Imagine if a big homie from Hoover got indicted on RICO charges like Big U, and you have a fellow groover doing bust activities like 600, showing up to court and trying to do police behavior and favors. But look, homie, look, see, it's a reason why, and I'm gonna say this, and we're gonna cut it short. That I have nothing incriminating to say about Hoover. Period. Period. All right. And this is why I tell y'all, man, if you're looking for that type of shit that was going on with no jumper and all that shit, man, you on the wrong get down, bro. We're not doing none of that. We're not doing none of that, man. You know, I don't know nothing. You know, I done forgot my fucking past. Shit, I forgot half shit. I don't remember nothing. Shit. So I don't know. Yeah. All right. You know, yeah. All right. Oh, hey, shout out from Seattle, man. H's homie. Seattle, Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, man. You know, down Mississippi, man. Tennessee, Memphis, hey man, Alabama, you know, Maryland, New York. Hey man, all love. H's homie. You know, this is the time, man. You brothers, let's get together, man. Let's work towards positivity. Let's own some shit legally. You know, leave the bullshit out the mix, man. All right. All right, man. Hey, enough said, man. Trey 4711, the doofus and the 9, man. It's been an honor, man. I love being back. We're gonna set this thing up right, man, for next Thursday. And we're gonna have real live content and real live brothers, man, in this get down discussing our future. All right. That said, man, I love you guys, man. I appreciate you coming in the chat, man. If I miss somebody, man, trust me, man. Next week I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna mention you, and I ain't gonna mention the person I did today, right? You're gonna get that, man. That's just how it is, man. That said, you have been, you are, and you will be under the groove. Power in the people, man. One love. All right.